Ever wondered why Sigma males often come across as weird to many people? You see, Sigma males are a distinct breed, a fascinating blend of traits that sets them apart from their alpha and beta brethren. This unique blend, while admirable, often leads to them being misunderstood, even labeled as weird. Sigma males are the lone wolves of our society, the introverts who prefer their own company over that of others. This isn't because they're antisocial or dislike people. No, quite the opposite. They just value their solitude, relish in their own thoughts, and thrive when they're left to their own devices. This introverted nature might seem odd to the more socially inclined, but for Sigma males, it's just another day in their world. Another defining trait of Sigma males is their self-reliance. They are the masters of their own destiny, preferring to rely on their own abilities and judgment rather than depending on others. This self-reliance is not born out of arrogance, but out of a deep-seated belief in their own capabilities. They know they have what it takes to handle whatever life throws at them, and they're not afraid to face it alone. This fierce independence can be off-putting to some, contributing to the weird label. Lastly, we must talk about their non-conformity. Sigma males are not ones to follow the crowd. They have their own rules, their own standards, their own way of doing things. They don't seek approval. They don't crave validation. They just do what feels right to them. This nonconformist attitude, this refusal to just fit in, is perhaps what makes them stand out the most. It's also what makes them the most misunderstood. So you see, Sigma males are not weird. They're just different in the most intriguing way. They are the introverted, self-reliant, non-conformist individuals who march to the beat of their own drum. Their uniqueness is their strength, their individuality, their power. So let's dive into 8 reasons why people often perceive Sigma males as weird. First off, Sigma males are introverts by nature. Now, when we say introverts, what exactly do we mean? Well, it's more than just a preference for solitude and quiet contemplation. It's about how these individuals recharge their mental and emotional batteries. Unlike extroverts, who gain energy from social interactions, introverts need some alone time to replenish their energy reserves. But here's the tricky part. Our society often misunderstands this characteristic of Sigma males. Introversion is frequently associated with shyness or antisocial behavior. This couldn't be further from the truth. Sigma males are not necessarily shy or antisocial. They just prefer a different kind of social interaction. They enjoy deep and meaningful conversations over small talk, and they value quality over quantity when it comes to relationships. In fact, their introverted nature often makes them excellent listeners and thoughtful friends. Their ability to reflect and introspect makes them highly self-aware, and this self-awareness often translates into a deep understanding of others. So, while they might not be the life of the party, they are often the ones providing comfort and understanding when you need it the most. However, the world we live in is largely extroverted. We celebrate outgoing personalities, people who can command the room, who can network and socialize with ease. And because of this, Sigma males, with their introverted nature, often stand out as different, as outliers, as, well, weird. But remember, weird is subjective. What's weird to one person might be completely normal to another. And this is where the misunderstanding lies. Sigma males are not weird because they are introverted. They are simply different. And this difference is what makes them unique and fascinating. So, the next time you meet a Sigma male, remember not to judge them based on their introverted nature. Instead, try to understand and appreciate their unique perspective and approach to life. Because in a world where everyone is trying to fit in, isn't it refreshing to meet someone who isn't afraid to stand out? This misunderstanding of introversion often leads to Sigma males being labeled as weird. But as we've seen, there's so much more to it than that. Secondly, Sigma males are fiercely self-reliant. Now, this is not just about being able to change a flat tire or fixing a leaky faucet, though, of course, those are handy skills to have. We're talking about a deep, fundamental reliance on oneself for emotional, mental, and physical needs. You see, Sigma males have a natural inclination towards independence. They prefer to count on their own capabilities rather than leaning on others. This is not because they look down on the support of others or are too proud to accept help. No, it's more about their innate desire to navigate the world on their own terms, to face challenges head-on, and to carve their own path. It's about having the confidence to stand alone, to be responsible for their own decisions and their consequences. Now, this trait of self-reliance often leads Sigma males to be perceived as loners or outsiders, and it's not hard to see why. In a society that often emphasizes teamwork, cooperation, and interdependence, those who prefer their own company can seem, well, a tad weird. But here's the rub. It's not that Sigma males can't work in teams or cooperate with others. They can, and they do when the situation calls for it. But they'd rather not rely on others for their happiness or fulfillment. They believe in creating their own destiny, in being the architects of their own lives. They don't need the validation of a group to feel secure or successful. They find that within themselves. This strong sense of self-reliance also extends to their personal relationships. Sigma males are not the type to cling or become overly dependent. They value their space and respect others too. They're not looking for someone to complete them, but rather someone who complements them. In a nutshell, Sigma males embody self-reliance in a world that often leans towards dependence. This doesn't make them better or worse, just different. And it's this difference, this divergence from the norm, that can make them seem weird to those who are more group-oriented. But remember, being different isn't bad. It's just different. And so, this strong sense of self-reliance can make Sigma males seem weird to those who are more group-oriented. Thirdly, Sigma males are non-conformists. Now, what does that mean exactly? Well, in a world that often insists on following a set path, Sigma males choose to blaze their own trails. They are the ones who reject the idea that there's only one way to live, one route to success, or one definition of happiness. They have a knack for questioning societal norms and expectations, preferring instead to live life on their own terms. But why is this? Why do Sigma males tend to shrug off the societal norms that most people adhere to so religiously? The answer is simple and complex at the same time. Sigma males are wired differently. They don't see the world in the same light as most people do. They value their own judgment and intuition above the popular opinion. This doesn't mean they're rebellious for the sake of rebellion. No, Sigma males are not anarchists. They simply believe in the validity of their own experience and perspective. They are not keen on fitting into predefined molds. They don't feel the need to follow the crowd, to keep up with the Joneses, to march to the beat of anyone else's drum. They are comfortable in their own skin, and they live life at their own pace. They are the architects of their own destiny and the captains of their own souls. Now, this non-conformity can be unsettling to those who adhere to societal norms. It can be confusing, even threatening, to see someone live so freely, so independently. People often fear what they don't understand, and the Sigma male's refusal to conform is something many people find hard to grasp. So how does this non-conformity translate into being perceived as weird? Well, the term weird is often used to describe anything that deviates from the norm, anything that doesn't fit neatly into our preconceived boxes. And Sigma males, with their non-conformist attitudes, certainly fit that bill. They follow their own path, even if it leads off the beaten track. They embrace their individuality, even if it sets them apart from the crowd. This non-conformist attitude often leads to Sigma males being perceived as weird. But remember, being weird is not necessarily a negative thing. After all, it's the weird ones who dare to think differently, who dare to challenge the status quo, who dare to be themselves in a world that often demands conformity. Fourthly, Sigma males are solitary creatures. They find their solitude not as a pit of loneliness, but rather a wellspring of self-reflection and personal growth. These individuals often prefer their own company to that of others, choosing the hum of their own thoughts over the chatter of social gatherings. They bask in their alone time, using it to explore their inner world, or delve into interests and hobbies without the distraction of constant social interaction. It's not that they dislike people or are antisocial. They simply value their independence and solitude, recognizing the importance of time spent with oneself. They are like lone wolves, comfortable and content in their own space, traversing the landscapes of their minds. This preference can be a mystery to those who thrive in the energy of a crowd, leading them to label Sigma males as weird. In a world that often associates being alone with loneliness, the Sigma male stands apart. This preference for solitude can make Sigma males seem weird to those who crave social interaction. Fifthly, Sigma males can be quite unpredictable. Now, this might sound like a trait of a mischievous comic book character, but it's actually one of the defining characteristics of a Sigma male. Just when you think you've got them all figured out, they'll surprise you with a curveball, shattering your neatly built perception of them. Sigma males don't walk the well-trodden path. They'd rather carve their own. They don't follow the crowd. They follow their own compass. This can lead to them making decisions that, to the outside observer, may seem completely out of left field. They might choose to backpack across the world one day, or start a business in an emerging market the next, all because it felt right to them in that moment. Their unpredictability isn't limited to their decisions alone. It extends to their actions, their reactions, their interests, and even their conversations. One day they might be engrossed in a book about quantum physics, and the next, they could be passionately discussing the intricacies of a classic rock album. Their minds are a whirlwind of thoughts, ideas, and curiosities, constantly seeking, exploring, and learning. This constant shifting and changing can be a bit like trying to hold water in your hands. Just when you think you've got a grasp on them, they slip through your fingers. And this can be quite confusing and unsettling for others. We are creatures of habit after all. We find comfort in predictability, in knowing what to expect. But with Sigma males, there's always an element of surprise, a hint of mystery, an air of unpredictability. But it's important to remember that their unpredictability isn't a deliberate attempt to confuse or unsettle others. It's simply a manifestation of their free-thinking, independent nature. They're not bound by societal norms or expectations. They live life on their own terms, and that can sometimes mean being unpredictable. However, this unpredictability, this refusal to fit into neat little boxes, can make Sigma males seem weird to those who prefer predictability and routine. They challenge the status quo, push boundaries, and refuse to be anything but their authentic selves. And while that might seem weird to some, to others, it's simply a sign of their unique, captivating Sigma masculinity. Sixthly, Sigma males are independent thinkers. This, my friends, is the core of their identity. It's not just about being different for the sake of it. It's about a genuine desire to seek truth and wisdom, even if it leads them down less trodden paths. Sigma males don't just accept information as it is presented to them. They probe, question, and analyze. They are the ones who would rather be uncomfortable with the truth than be content with a comforting lie. They're not just problem solvers, they're problem finders. They're constantly on the lookout for ways to improve, to innovate, to revolutionize. This is the kind of mindset that leads to breakthroughs, to inventions, to discoveries. But remember, this way of thinking isn't always welcomed with open arms. It's not always easy to be the one who asks the uncomfortable questions, who challenges the status quo. It can feel like you're swimming upstream, going against the current. But that's the Sigma way. They aren't afraid to stand alone if it means standing for what they believe is right. Now imagine being in a room full of people who are all agreeing on a particular issue. Then, in walks a Sigma male, who not only disagrees but presents an entirely new perspective that no one else had considered. That can be intimidating, unsettling even. It disrupts the harmony, the consensus. And yet, this is how progress is made, isn't it? Someone has to be the first to say, hey, maybe there's a better way. Someone has to be the one to step out of line, to challenge the norm. That's the Sigma male. But to those who prefer the comfort of conformity, this can seem weird. It's easier to label them as odd than to confront the discomfort of their challenging ideas. Yet, it's precisely this willingness to think independently, to challenge and be challenged, that sets the Sigma males apart. In conclusion, this independent thinking can make Sigma males seem weird to those who prefer conformity. But remember, it's not about being weird. It's about being true to oneself, thinking independently, and fearlessly challenging the status quo. Seventhly, Sigma males can be quite secretive. This trait is a double-edged sword, adding an intrigue that's both captivating and somewhat disconcerting. So let's dive into the ocean of Sigma secrets. But remember, we might not find a treasure chest because, well, they're secretive. Sigma males often keep their thoughts and feelings under wraps, like a magician never revealing his secrets. This isn't because they're plotting some grand scheme. No, it's simply their nature to internalize their thoughts and emotions. They're like those old mysterious libraries, filled with dusty books. Every book a story, every story a secret. But just like the library, they don't readily advertise their contents. You have to be patient, respectful, and genuinely interested to discover the stories they hold. This secretive disposition can be confusing, even unsettling to some. In a world where we're encouraged to share, to express, to put it all out there, the Sigma male's reluctance to do so can seem out of place. It's like walking into a party where everyone is dancing and singing, and there's this one person sitting quietly in the corner, sipping his drink, observing. It's not that he doesn't know how to dance or sing, it's just that he chooses not to, and that can be baffling for many. However, it's essential to understand that this secrecy isn't a sign of deceit or dishonesty. Sigma males value their privacy and the privacy of others. They believe in the sanctity of personal space, both physical and emotional. They hold their cards close to their chest, not to cheat the game, but to play it in their own unique way. So if you find a Sigma male in your life, don't be disconcerted by their secretive nature. Instead, try to understand and respect it. Remember, it's not a wall they're building to keep you out. It's a personal space they're preserving to stay true to themselves. This secrecy can make Sigma males seem weird to those who prefer openness and transparency. But isn't it this very enigma that makes the Sigma male so intriguing? And let's be honest, who doesn't love a good mystery? Lastly, Sigma males have a high degree of emotional control. They're like the stoic statues in a bustling city park, unswayed by the whirlwind of emotions that often dictate the actions of others. This doesn't mean they're devoid of feelings, far from it. What it does mean is that they have a firm grip on their emotions. They're the masters of their own emotional universe. Now, this can be puzzling for those who wear their hearts on their sleeves. Imagine trying to read a book with no words. That's what trying to read a Sigma male can feel like. This emotional fortress they've built around themselves can come across as detachment or a lack of emotion. But in reality, it's just a testament to their ability to remain calm in the face of a storm. This emotional control, this ability to stay composed, to not let emotions dictate their actions, is what makes Sigma males a bit of a conundrum to the emotionally expressive. This emotional control can make Sigma males seem weird to those who are more emotionally expressive. So, there you have it. 8 reasons why Sigma males are often perceived as weird. Let's recap quickly. The introverted nature of Sigma males, their unshakable self-reliance, and their non-conformity to societal norms. The preference for solitude, their unpredictable actions that keep others guessing, and their independent thinking. The secretive aura that surrounds them, and their ability to maintain emotional control in the face of adversity. These traits might seem weird or out of the ordinary to some, but in reality, they are the essence of what makes a Sigma male unique. They march to the beat of their own drum, living life in a way that feels authentic and true to them. Being weird in this context is not a flaw, but rather a testament to their individuality. It's a powerful reminder that diversity in character and perspective is what makes our world vibrant and interesting. Remember, being weird isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just a matter of perspective. After all, wouldn't the world be boring if we were all the same?